Welcome back for another episode of Branching Out with Sierra. On this week's episode, we're talking about the discipline of leadership, lessons from fitness and business, actually, with Jess Gordon. Jess is our most listened to guest. We were actually tracking analytics this week, and she continues to be, it appears, on all platforms the most listened to. I know exactly why. We have the most fun together, and we annoy Matt the most in his editing. So this is going to be a blast today, but I wanted to talk about discipline with someone, and Jess is the most disciplined person I know. And if you recall from previous episodes, she started a new adventure where she's focusing just on her business and no longer working in the insurance industry, which is a really big switch. So we have her back today to talk about discipline and kind of the difference between the two and how her discipline is helping her to effectively run her business as well. So welcome back again, Jess.
Thank you.
By the way, this week, have you watched, what is the name of the show where they're like, it's Jess?
No.
What is it, Matthew?
Is that my life show?
Yeah. There's a show. I can picture her, and in the beginning, New Girl.
I do know that show. I've never really watched it. Yeah.
So when he asked this week about who was going to be our guest,
it's Jess. That's so cute.
Yeah, I was very excited. Welcome back.
Thank you. I did not know I was the most listened to. No pressure.
You are.
That is really nice.
It's a really big deal.
That's nice.
You actually got that title very quickly, and you've held it ever since. Your first
no pressure.
First episode with us has been the most played, watched, listened to.
Well,
and that was pretty early on.
I think it's mostly not like, I don't think it has a single thing to do with me or my story. I just think we have a fun dynamic, and I just think we just sit and talk.
We're so fun together.
Yeah, because we just sit and
natural.
chat. Yes, yeah. So it's just like catching up with a friend.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that I was late to this party. I had the flu last time, so I was. This was supposed to happen before, but it got me good. So, but I'm glad. I love it when we can get together and chat.
I do too. And by the way, Michael Savino is a little bit jealous, so he came back for another episode. He just did one on, I don't know if you saw it online, but his journey to Mount Everest Base Camp.
Yo.
It's a great episode.
So
You're going to
cool.
love it.
Like, that should be the most listened to, let's be honest.
Well, and I think he thought it would be.
It should be.
It's just not been out that long.
Yes.
So we'll go with that. But he has been reaching out, asking for analytics of his episodes, and you're the problem. You're the thing preventing him from being successful. Yeah.
I'm the problem. It's me. Just like this talking over each other thing. I'm the problem.
No,
sorry.
It's both of us.
But
I take responsibility.
But I know how to remedy this problem. Me, you, Michael, podcast at Everest Base Camp.
Whoa.
Boom.
That would be so cool.
We would blow up the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I think you're right.
Probably my lung capacity, because I don't think I could make it. But we could try real hard.
You should not have said that.
Altitude training.
Yes. Make it happen.
You get done. Say less. Come to the gym. I'll be in an altitude.
Did it.
Yes, we could do it. You're right.
Not that Michael is
can do anything.
Above and beyond anyone else we know.
Yes, but but that's the mentality we have, is that if we see someone else do something, and that's what I love about us.
We can do it too.
That's
and we'll do it better.
I tell my training partner that all the time. So my training partner Karina, we do a lot of stuff together, and it's the most healthy relationship. Is like female friends, because like females get like often catty and competitive and weird and like snarky. And I'm very lucky, because actually none of the females in my life do that at all. I would actually say that like you and Karina and Audrey and the females in my life cheer louder for me than literally anybody.
Aww.
And support me more than anybody. But, it's Karina and I always talk about how when we're training together, if somebody does something, it almost like shatters the glass ceiling, where we're like, oh, I can do it. And it's not like, oh, well, if you did it, I have to do it. It's now I can do it.
Yes.
Because you broke the barrier for me.
Gave yourself permission now.
Yes. Yeah. So anytime she does something, I'm so excited, like just genuinely excited for her to do it. And then it gives me a little bit of like, oh, I can do that too. And that's how we both just get like progressively better. That's why you train with people, man.
That's the thing. I need someone to train with. Okay, I have a confession. These tend to come out when I'm with you. So Matt got us a gym membership up there.
Yeah.
It's like right off the exit on the way home. And I have no excuse to like not go, have stuff packed in the car and, stop on the way. But I'm not doing it. And I think it's because I don't have anyone to go with.
Yeah. And that is the problem, really. It's a lot of the times, like, I don't even show up at the gym being like, oh, yay, I get to work out today. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's cool. But mostly it's like I get to see my friends. I get to talk to my people. I get to, just like we were talking about earlier, like for 1 hour of my day, at least I get to not be a wife, boss, daughter. I just get to be me.
Yeah.
And I just get to hang out with people. And like, yeah, we fitness and we move our body. Don't get me wrong. But like this morning we did a partner workout. And I spent more of the workout talking than literally anything else. But
that's
it was
exercise
nice.
Too. It's for your jaw.
We were moving. Oh yeah. Super strong jaw. Super strong. But yeah, and I was like, this is what keeps people coming back. Because like, yeah, if you just go in and you're by yourself and you feel like you have to like bang your head against the wall to get anything done, I get that.
Yeah, well, it's just there's no one to push you. So I feel like we give up a lot easier if you're. It's like when I used to run and I'd be back in the woods during cross country. When no one was there clapping or watching, I would slow down and I'd get in my head, right?
Oh,
and I don't know if I could do this. But if up ahead I see people standing outside the woods area and they're cheering, then I like literally kick it into the next gear because I'm like, oh, I can do this.
Are you telling me you might lack a little bit of discipline?
Maybe.
Maybe.
What is discipline?
That's such a good question. Thank you for leading this conversation right in here. So, I mean, to me anyway, discipline is the things that you do that, and they're not always not fun things. They just commonly are not fun things.
Yeah.
That lead you to a greater goal and it's not even always a goal. It's a greater thing that it's a need or a want at the end, right?
Yeah.
Because I liken discipline to doing things like going to work, brushing your teeth. You do have to be a certain amount of disciplined to get these things done.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the reward at the end? You get a paycheck and you get clean teeth. I mean, and those are things that you should want.
You hear that out there, Caleb? I've been telling that boy that.
Discipline.
Twice a day. He's saying once a day is sufficient. We're arguing.
Well, I mean, at least he's doing it once. Discipline. Baby steps. We'll talk about that later. Baby steps into discipline. But it's, it's doing things that, because you have to have the greater goal. There has to be the bigger goal, because if not, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's always keeping that goal top of mind. Like, what do you want? What is the ultimate goal here?
And I think that makes a good point. Yes, I lack discipline when it comes to exercise, right? But I don't lack discipline in all areas.
No.
I'm very disciplined when it comes to how I schedule my time, right? What I say yes to, what I say no
Your
to.
work.
Yeah, everything related to like personal and professional growth, all except the nutrition and exercise piece, super disciplined.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's a choice. It is a choice.
And I think everybody has that. Like nobody is like 100% disciplined in every single thing that they do. That would be robotic and weird.
Yeah.
And it also is, it would kind of take the fun out of it, because like we always want those, I don't want to say, struggle points, but we do. We want those tension points in our life because we always want to get better. And if you feel like you're the best, well, that's boring. It is. Like it's so not fun anymore. Like you've taken all the fun out of it. So it's knowing, okay, like where is that thing? And that's why you would think people would listen to this episode, right? Is because they know where their discipline point is. It might not be fitness and nutrition. It might be brushing their teeth. I don't know people's lives. I don't know. Maybe they want to start flossing every day. That would be nice.
I started that this year.
That's really good. How's that going?
Good.
Have your gums stopped bleeding? Yes. Are they bleeding right now?
No.
Okay.
They stopped. I was very proud of myself. I had never really done that in my entire life. For some reason, I don't know, it just seemed like so much effort.
It is. And that's discipline though. Yeah, but that's the thing is like, it's doing the little tiny monotonous, tedious, sometimes annoying, sometimes gum bleeding things.
Yeah.
To get to the greater goal. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
if they listen to this, I'm assuming they want to exercise discipline in some point in their life or somewhere.
And after you've done it for a period of time, then it becomes routine and you don't
Yes.
require as much discipline.
That's the best part.
Yeah, I'm brushing my teeth. Okay, my automatic reaction is, okay, I'm going to floss now, right? Whereas before, I'd see it, but I'd do nothing about it.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's that. And then the next part of discipline is the part where it becomes weird when you don't do it. And that's my favorite part because, in the beginning it's a trudge, whatever it is. You want to get disciplined at reading every day. I don't know. The first little bit, you're like, oh my God, let me pull out this stupid book and like 5 pages.
Yeah.
Just
checking the box.
Yes.
Just trying to get through it.
Yes. And then eventually, and I'm not going to say it happens overnight because it doesn't. It happens over a long, long, long time, months,
Yeah.
Then it becomes like, oh, if I didn't pull out my book today, this is a weird day. Something must be wrong. And that's how you build literally any habit right there.
Yeah.
It's that hard and that easy, right?
Yeah.
It's I'm not going to say it's simple, not easy. It's stupid simple, but it's not always easy.
So you haven't been here in a few months. You have to have some updates on the business, but I also, as you're updating us, I want you to do like a little comparison between the discipline that it took to function in the insurance world and that shift into leadership there right before you left, really, right? Versus now the leadership within business. Talk a little bit about updates there and navigating the difference between the two.
Yeah, so the gym I own, if anyone doesn't know, I own a gym called 540 Fitness. I left my job in insurance to run my gym full time. So I went from like the most stable profession in the entire world, which is insurance. I mean, truly.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, the least stable profession in the entire world, which is fitness and health, which is honestly the least stable thing. So it was scary. It was all those things, and discipline was a huge part of both of them because especially when it came to understanding what the greater goal was, right?
Yeah.
That's really what changed for me between those two things.
Okay.
And that was the biggest change because I felt like, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, but I felt like the discipline to do insurance for me was a lot of, I did want to help other people, and I did do that. TWG is the bomb at that, and I did do that. Was it necessarily my place where I could make the biggest impact? No. Personally, not me. But it was a lot of, I felt like I needed to get the paycheck and do the job and to make the people around me happy and to help them. And don't get me wrong, that was a great purpose. And I really took to heart fulfilling that purpose.
You did.
Oh my God, yeah.
You worked so hard. You gave it your best effort. Like just because it wasn't necessarily the best thing for you didn't mean you gave any less effort to it.
No. And I think that they knew that. Like I ran the department. Like, and I tried really hard to like make it fit. And that was actually one of the things when I left that I told them. I was like, I feel like I'm fitting a square peg into a round hole. Like it's just so the discipline for me was a little bit the greater goal there was like, okay, make the people around you, make their life easier, make their job better, try to help them, try to help your clients. That's all I wanted to do. And then I'm not a super money motivated person, so even the paycheck didn't matter to me. It just didn't do it for me. So my discipline really, came in to being able to show up every day, do my best, try to, kind of check those boxes and make sure that everyone else was happy. And I guess, you can do that for a period of time, but then the discipline shifted where now I have this greater thing that's almost like my child that I have to care for and love and nurture. And there is discipline in the sense that there's certain tasks that I don't love doing, and those are the ones that I delegate to Jared. but outside of that, it doesn't take as much discipline, I'm not gonna lie. Like it doesn't take as much as one would think, and I think that's part of finding something that you love. I mean, discipline, I exercise less discipline in running my business and more discipline in my training for athletics.
That is
Does that make sense?
Yes,
it's weird.
But it is weird. I'm
I
gonna agree with that,
know.
because you think, okay, now I have this freedom, right? I'm my own boss. I get to do what I want whenever I want, right? I get to get that new tattoo. Nobody's gonna say anything about it, right? But sometimes that shift for people is difficult because they have too much freedom and they're not taking care of the important responsibilities in running a business. There's some avoidance that goes on with certain aspects of business. So, from my perspective, getting some sort of income when I started my business was important. I didn't have anything else to rely on. I wasn't, with anyone else that was going to take care of me, right? So I thought, I have to do this. I have to be successful to get the paycheck, right? But if someone feels like they have a little bit more flexibility and they have a partner who's also bringing in some revenue too into the household, right? I've definitely seen some people who get a little lax for a period of time. It's like, freedom, and the discipline disappears. So you're saying it is taking less discipline for you to run the business than it was to fit the square peg into a round hole.
For me, yes. And I don't know if that's for everybody. I don't know.
That's interesting.
And I think it's also like, a lot of the stuff that I don't love doing, Jared does. So I think that could be part of it too, where if part of my job, if part of my, co-ownership was to do the finances, I would probably cry.
Okay.
But that's not my job.
Yeah.
So it is nice that I have someone to share that with. And I think that, we're lucky in that sense. And also, I will say, by nature, I'm a pretty disciplined person.
Yeah,
so I do exercise discipline every day. And I make sure that I get up and I do the things and I'm doing everything that I need to do to make the business successful. But discipline's been a practice for me for a long time. So it doesn't really seem like it. Where, I do think I was having to use more discipline before than I do now. Now I just feel like I get to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. And maybe that is a piece of it, is based on your level of enjoyment. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, for sure. If you think about people's discipline, and discipline is, we should have looked up the definition, but it's, what is it? What do you think the definition?
The discipline of definition is?
No, the definition of discipline. I would think it is being able to do things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, the hard things.
Yeah.
With consistency.
But does it always have to be things you don't want to do? Because I'm disciplined, but I like a lot of things.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be something that you don't like. I don't know. I can feel inside of my soul that Matthew's looking up the definition right now. The practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct.
That's not what I'm thinking.
Nope. All right. Let's do another one.
That's a big no for me, dog.
Yeah. There are a lot of definitions. Punish or rebuke? What is happening right now? Go up. I saw something I liked. Train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way.
That's the one.
Every month, discipline yourself to go through the file is their example. That would not have been my example, but
that person's on insurance.
Habitual. So being able to build that habit.
Yes.
But it's easier to build the habit when you enjoy the thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And you see it with people doing nutrition. You see it with people doing exercise. You see it with people doing literally anything. For the people that maybe come from a sports background and they love it and they have that part of them that loves doing it, then they kind of take to it really easy. Where we have people who are like, I honestly hate to sweat. And that's but they still need to exercise. Or if you hate to floss your teeth, you still need to floss your teeth.
It doesn't mean that you don't have to do it.
It doesn't mean that you don't get to do it. Yeah. So I do think that there's some level of how much you enjoy that thing, but it's, how do you build discipline around doing things that you don't enjoy, or even does the practice of building discipline around things that you necessarily don't enjoy make you enjoy them more? Do you like flossing now?
I actually do, because I'm proud when my gums don't bleed.
See? That's nice.
And I actually look at it and go, oh my gosh. So every one of these times that I'm flossing and stuff actually comes out, that tells me that that was being left in there before. And that's pretty gross.
Yes.
Sierra, you're gross.
And you have very strong gums now.
I do.
Very, very strong gums.
See, you talk about this in a way that makes me believe you must floss.
I mean, I do on occasion, not every day.
You lack discipline.
My dentist should not be listening to this right now. But yes, I do lack discipline in my flossing. I should make it habitual.
But that's a perfect example. You're a highly disciplined person, but that doesn't mean you're disciplined in everything that you do.
God, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I could give you the list of things that I'm not disciplined in.
Okay.
Doing my taxes.
No. Could we do things that don't land you in jail? Like
Right. No, that's why I have Jared. Yes,
okay.
yes. And
Okay.
Jake, my tax guy. I make them do it. And I'm
Okay.
like, hey, you guys got this. And I mean, I do think that is part of habit stacking and doing the right things for your mind and for your body. Like, are there certain things in life that you're just going to have the proclivity to like not want to do, and you want to avoid them? Yeah. Hire those things out. I don't think that makes you undisciplined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about your meals before this.
Oh yeah.
You got someone to cook your meals for you because you were not, and that had nothing to do with your discipline. That had nothing to do that you were undisciplined to prep your own meals. You're busy and you have a lot going on. So I think knowing the difference between like, hey, I'm undisciplined and maybe this just is a really big pain point for me and I could maybe be better served hiring this service out to somebody else.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion.
I think it's a question of discipline or not when you know you should be doing something and in the moment you catch yourself but you do the wrong thing anyway.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like
I do.
That's to me is the line because I knew that I needed to improve the way I was eating lunch. It didn't matter what the solution was, but I just needed to make sure I was eating a healthier lunch. So I found a solution.
Absolutely.
To me, there was discipline in finding the solution.
Yes.
And creating a kind of different situation for myself to avoid, that moment where I'd give in and go get a Big Mac.
Absolutely. No, and I think, and it doesn't have to look the same for everybody. Anyone can have their own form of discipline around what they're doing. It doesn't matter.
So for those listening, what I'm talking about is having a local chef, Tara's Table. I'll just throw that out there. Tara is someone who does catering, but she also creates meals and delivers them right to your door, which is amazing. And I wanted to try out that service, try out her food. I was thinking of using her to cater an event that I'm working on. And this was like kind of best of all worlds. I got to try the food. I have my lunches for the week.
Nice.
It's right at my door. Can't get better service than that,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
It to me, you have to find a solution to the problem. So if you lack discipline in something, I lacked the discipline in packing something in the morning, right? I would think about it, and I'd open the fridge again and go, I don't really want to have to put something together to pack to take to Winchester. I'd close the fridge. I'll just get a Big Mac,
And meal prep isn't for everybody. Like, I'm a nutrition coach too.
I saw your quesadilla.
Girl, I make a mean quesadilla. And I don't like to cook. But in like doing like a 7-step meal prep every Sunday isn't for everybody. And that's okay. It's just identifying that in yourself and saying, how do I find a solution to this problem? Yeah. And that's easy enough.
I have a question about the quesadilla. I'm sorry. I
I'm ready.
Pause the episode for this. Cottage cheese and salsa. I've never combined the two before, but I witnessed you doing it, and it looked good. How did you come up with that? Is that a thing that I just never knew about?
Well, I don't know if it's a thing, but sour cream. So I do macro counting, and that's how I do my nutrition. And that's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. But
I'm sorry. Did you just agree to coming back again?
Oh, girl, I will come here anytime you want me to. But I need more protein in that meal, and cottage cheese is a protein, and cottage cheese is kind of just like little chunky sour cream.
That's a
good
point.
Or you could just use plain Greek yogurt. I didn't have any plain Greek yogurt, so I used that instead. And it's just getting creative and like thinking a little bit outside the box and being like, hey, what could I use that I already have in my house?
you make food that I would typically consider unhealthy looks so much better when you like sit and analyze. By the way, I read all the ingredients and exactly what's in it, and it's actually not that bad for you.
God, no. And like, here's the thing, is people get so caught up in thinking that like, okay, oh my gosh, you want to talk about discipline in what people think discipline is versus what discipline actually is 75 hard. People who come to me and they say, I'm going to do 75 hard. I want to first just bang my head off the table, and I want to tell them not to, but I don't want to like quench their flame, right? Because they're coming to me and they're excited. They're like, Jess, I'm going to do 75 hard. And I'm like, great. That's awesome. And I'm trying really hard to not like rain on their parade, but internally I'm screaming because I'm like, it is so insane to think that you build discipline by going from 0 to
extreme
to 2 workouts a day, 10 pages of a book, no alcohol. One of your workouts has to be outside. I don't know all the rules. It's like
a gallon of water,
whatever all the rules are.
Which is the reason I quit.
I can tell you it's too many rules.
Yeah.
And if you miss a day, you have to like start over. I'm sorry. But what? It sends me into a place of orbit that I can't even begin to tell you, because that is not, listen to me, not how you build discipline. And if you can't do that craziness, it doesn't mean that you're not disciplined. It means that you're not a psychopath. Like, because that's like, do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. It is taking it to the extreme. I agree. I'm going to tell you an in-between option though, because like, Bev Steitley, who is actually the previous episode, it just dropped yesterday. She has been in this accountability group with me forever now. And we text every day. 20 minutes of exercise is the requirement. Doesn't matter what you do, 20 minutes. We all in the group have to say that we've done it. If someone misses, we start back over at day 1. We just try to see how many consecutive days we can do it.
If one person in the group misses, you all start back over?
Yeah, we like a streak. So that's like the starting back over piece of 75 hard.
I like the meanness of that one, though.
Yes. Yeah, because people don't want to disappoint one another. No. It'd be so easy to be like, oh, you know, I had a busy day. I just didn't get it in today. And me say, oh, it's not a problem. We'll just keep going, right?
Yeah.
People have gotten sick and skipped a day, but I am the bad guy, and I'm like, okay, day 1 tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And because it would become excuses every time. So in my mind, it has created this habit for everyone where when they get up in the morning, they think about their day as a whole and what's coming and when is the best time for them to fit their exercise in.
And you have guilted them on to fitness. And I like that about you, honestly.
But it's not 2-a-days, which I will tell you this. You're not going to like that I'm saying this. Oh, you know how I showed you that very secret logo earlier?
Oh, and yeah, we're not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about it. But you know how I had like a big muscle in it?
Yes.
I had the biggest muscles. You would have been so impressed. When I did 75 hard, I was a beast.
Yes.
I was.
Okay. And
then I quit.
There it is.
Exactly.
This
is the problem. That's what we need to talk about.
Yes, because doing 75 hard, and if you complete 75 hard, good. Cool. I'm honestly proud of you. If you did it without totally screwing up your mental brain and totally backsliding. However, the percentage of people that do that, small. And the percentage of people who continue it, because here's the thing about habits and discipline, is they have to be sustainable.
Yeah,
if they're not sustainable, listen, I don't know how to tell people this in a way that doesn't hurt their feelings. If it's not sustainable, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it, if you don't see yourself doing it every day for the next 10 years, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like, it's like diets.
Yes.
Any diet.
Exactly. Like, yes, you can be disciplined on your diet for 3 weeks and you lose 6 pounds. Cool.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're going to do in 7, 8, 10, 12 months. It's so much different. And like, you know, and discipline is not like this big, show of wills to be like, oh my gosh, I said no to ice cream. There's also a place in discipline where you know when and how to say yes to ice cream. And that is true discipline.
I think that's what makes you different too as like a nutrition coach, because I follow your stuff. Even when you don't hear from me, I'm watching what you're doing.
Creeping.
I am creeping. But you don't make people feel guilty about those things. We watch you, as fit as you are, as great as you look, you have those things.
Well, yes, because that's being a normal person. Like if someone came to me, like if a magic genie popped up, and this magic genie, and I love, my favorite dessert is probably banana cream pie. Love banana cream pie. So if this magic genie...
Make note of that, Matthew.
Yes, love banana cream pie.
Put it in our record.
So if a magic genie popped up and said, hey, Jess, you could be absolutely shredded. You could be, completely fit, but you could never have banana cream pie again. I don't think I would take that bet because I love banana cream pie. And then when I tell people there's a world in which you can have both, they don't believe me.
Yeah.
They're like,
but
no.
I can see why. Think about the messaging that we see all the time.
I know, and it's all BS, and it's all phooey.
Yeah, but you're doing hard work out here fixing that mindset.
I'm trying.
With anybody that works with you.
I'm trying. I want them to know that, like, hey, food is cool. Food is not your enemy, and it's not all or nothing. Like, discipline is not all or nothing.
I need to hear that every single day because I am an all or nothing person. But because I know that, I'll catch myself in the moment and say, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be the all or nothing. What's the in between that you can focus on today?
Yeah, because that's sustainable, right? Because, all or nothing is not sustainable.
It is
like
not.
75 hard, yes, I believe you were jacked. And I would love to see photos. Please pull those out for everybody to see. That needs to be the cover of this episode.
Yeah.
But.
No, we already have a cover of this episode.
But if it's, and that's what I tell people. I'm like, if it's so great, then why'd you stop?
Because it didn't actually feel good.
No.
It was,
because you hate it.
Yes. Well, especially when it was like raining outside. It's pouring down rain. It's a thunderstorm. Got to get in this other 45-minute workout. You're like, I might get struck by lightning, but I don't want to start over again.
Listen, can I be a little
whatever you're
taboo?
About to say, yes, you can.
Oh, I'm going to be a little taboo. This is like ice bath people for me.
My brother does that.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Oh, no. It's okay. You can make fun of my brother, too.
No. I'm not. There's honestly probably several people listening to this that do ice baths. And just so you know, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not. I myself just don't get it. Where I'm like, okay, who was it that had like it's a really famous rich guy who wears the same white t-shirt every day because you get decision fatigue and you can't make so many decisions in a day.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about, Kenda?
I do, but I don't know who it is.
Okay. Anyway, I think the same concept with willpower, right? You kind of have to pick and choose where your discipline is and where your willpower is, because you cannot be 100% disciplined about 100% of the things 100% of the time, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you're going to use your discipline and your willpower to jump into an ice bath? I could think about 50 other things I'd rather do.
Yeah.
With that brain power and that discipline. I personally would rather prep food that makes me feel good. I would rather go to the gym with my friends. I would rather read a book. I would rather go for a walk with my dogs. That's my new thing is, 30 minutes of outdoor movement every day, no matter what. I start to get a little lax with it.
Okay.
And that is a show of like, I'd rather use my discipline for that. But then, if you tell ice bath people that their ice bath is not good, they just want to scream at you. And I love that.
Well, it's funny that you brought up ice baths because I literally saw a video this morning that was a lady on Mel Robbins' podcast saying that ice baths are not actually good for women.
They're not. Women need heat.
Yes.
Women need sauna.
Yes. That's exactly what she said.
She's right.
That for men, feel free, right? But for women, if you're going to be doing something, you should be getting in a sauna.
That's right.
For, what did she recommend? 10 to 15 minutes 2 times a week.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, and because ice baths, it's not good for women, and it raises, I believe it's your cortisol, and it's not good for you.
Stress hormones.
Yes, but I mean that's the thing though. It's like, it's discipline for the sake of discipline.
Yeah,
isn't always even healthy.
That is true.
It's just not always healthy.
So before you went into this business full time, you were getting up very early in the morning, doing your workout, and then going to TWG, right? I'm curious, did that routine stay the same? Now you're just going to 5:40 instead? Like,
no.
Okay.
I've gotten, so yeah, I have gotten more lax in that regard.
Okay.
Definitely. So
Okay.
yes, so my routine before, and this is going to sound crazy.
I know it's crazy before you say it.
It's a little crazy. I used to get up at about like 3:30 a.m. I would get all my stuff together because when I left for the day, I was gone until I got home from work in the evening.
Yeah.
So I'd get up, I would get all my stuff together, go to the gym. I would do the 5 o'clock workout. From 5 o'clock until about 7 o'clock, I would train. And then I would get ready and I'd go to work. I'd get to work at 8:30. I would work in insurance all day. And then 3 days a week, I trained this group of women. I trained them 3 days a week. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I would try to like get my life together. And but to do this, I had to have my clothes laid out the night before. No ifs, ands, or buts. My work clothes and my gym clothes. My lunch had to be ready to go. My coffee had to be pre-made. I had a system for getting the dogs out, getting all my stuff together, getting out the door so I could make it to class. And it was, don't get me wrong, I ran like a well-oiled machine and I never missed a day. Do not get me wrong. Discipline.
Yes.
Because I had a greater goal. I knew what my goal was, and even on the days I didn't feel like doing when I didn't feel like doing it, I knew the goal and I never lost sight of the goal. And I'm very thankful for that because I've now achieved the goal, and I'm achieving still, but I now have that thing. So now that I don't have to work in an office 8 hours a day, I get up a little later.
Okay.
Not much. I probably sleep until like 5 or 6 because my husband still gets up pretty early. So I get up and now I go typically to the 9 a.m. class.
Okay.
And that's a fun group of people right there. The 9 a.m. class at 540 Fitness, they're popping. So I go and I hang out with my 9 a.m.ers, and then I do my extra programming, and then I get to come home and do my Black Iron nutrition stuff and check in with my nutrition clients. And then I'll go back to the gym in the evening and do my PM session. And in there I do like some admin work for the gym and stuff like that. Like I have clients and stuff that I need to check in on. And I mean, when I tell you I'm living my dream life, I really am. I think that's why it takes a little bit less discipline now, because it's also just
that does make sense.
I cultivated a life. But this did not happen overnight. This by no means happened. It took years and years and years of that really hardcore. When I say years and years and years, 7 to be exact. I did that exact routine for 7 years straight. And I did
and a lot of people think about that routine, do think you're crazy, and say, I'd never be able to get up at 3:30, right? Until they did it for a period of time, and then
I loved it.
Then you start to like it.
Yes.
Same thing for me. I mean, it's not 3:30, but I typically get up between 4:30 and 5. And that allows me to have my like slow wake up, my routine, get packed, get ready, read a little bit, have breakfast, all of that before I come down to Winchester. But I actually don't mind it now. Whereas when I first started, it was really hard, and you want to snooze the alarm numerous times.
Yeah.
But the other thing that shifted that was funny is I knew I really liked hitting snooze. So what I do is I set my alarm for 15 minutes before I actually need to get up, so I get to hit snooze twice.
Yes, that is fun. If you like hitting snooze, the snooze button drives me insane. And if Jared hits his snooze button, I yell because I'm like,
you could not stand this one over here.
I'm a first alarmer. Alarm goes off once, my feet hit the floor. We're done. We do not negotiate.
Yeah.
And a snooze button will get me. But can I tell you what I think like the trick is to building discipline.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you're the person who's listening to this and you're thinking, oh my God, I want so badly to be the person who gets up at, 4 a.m. and gets to the gym and has my stuff laid out. It is to not do that right now. Do not do that all right now. Do not, for the love of God, tell me you're going to start on Monday. And you know what? On Monday, I'm going to be, this person that I've been for the last 37 years. Monday, that all changes,
It's a
buddy.
great time to change everything.
Monday, that changes. Monday, I'm someone else.
Yeah.
And when you say it like that, it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
When you say it like that, it sounds insane. The routine that I've had for the last, 20 years of my life, I'm going to change everything about that on Monday morning. And you would look at me like, okay, but people do it literally. Yeah. I hear it constantly.
Oh, my clients say it all the time too.
And they're not.
Yeah.
It's not, and that has absolutely, and then they come to me and they're like, oh my God, I'm so undisciplined. And I'm like, no, you just didn't make the right move. Yeah. You just needed to start smaller. That's it. So maybe now your wake up time is 6:30. Can we back that up to 6? And then in that 30 extra minutes, go for a walk outside or do 30 minutes of yoga or just get up.
Yeah, I was going to say, just get up. Can you just sit in a chair?
Yes. Yeah. Read a book. Can you just get up? That would be honestly a win.
Yeah.
A really, really cool win that I would be if any of my nutrition clients came to me, because we talk about stuff like this in nutrition coaching. It's very little nutrition coaching, very much less. Because, most people know what to eat. Yeah. But I help with that too. But anyway, and I'm like, hey, I know you want to do this. And when I tell them to start small, they think that I don't hear them. They think that they're like, no, Jess, you didn't hear me. I don't want to get up at 6. I want to get up at 4. And I'm like, I heard you. We're going to get there.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Give me 5 minutes. Yeah. We're going to get there. But I need you to do it in a way that's sustainable, in a way that you're not going to hate yourself and me, and you're going to be resentful of the process, and you're going to quit after 5 days because you just tried to uproot your entire life. And then you get negative and you spiral out of control because you're like, I'm a failure. I'm never going to be good at this. I'm undisciplined and I'm a bad person. And I'm like, not a single one of those things are true. You just really tried to bite off a little bit more than you can chew. And that's, I respect your gusto, but it rarely works.
Yeah. So those small wins, that's what all of this is built from.
All of it. All of it is just real. And what sucks about that is because anyone who hears that's like, well, that's not sexy. Do you know what's sexy? 75 hard. That sounds cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I wish it had a cooler name. like it's 365 little. Yeah. Like it's stupid.
You should make a program 365 sustainable.
Yes. And do you know who would buy it? Nobody. No one. And I hate that because no one wants to hear it, and they don't want that. They don't want to get up 30 minutes earlier and do yoga for 30 minutes. They want to go and be chiseled at the gym. And I'm like, you know what? Me too, but it took me 7 years of 365 little, so get it together. Yeah. You don't get to step Z without going through the whole alphabet. It doesn't really good point. Work, and it just makes me crazy because it doesn't make me crazy because people are being like super ambitious. I think that that's cool. Be super ambitious. But what makes me crazy is the negative spiral that it sends people down when they can't do it. And I'm like, it's not you. You didn't do it wrong.
Yeah. I think you're not always going to be motivated though. So when it's something you're not really motivated to do, the act isn't something you're motivated by, but the goal is the motivator. Like how do you... I'll use the example of being fit because it just works for you. Somebody wants to look a certain way when they look in the mirror, right? But they don't want to have to exercise to get there. So when motivation is very low and they still need to build discipline, is there a different approach to it they need to take? Or is it the same for everyone? Because that hump of, laying out the gym clothes might already be hard for them because they don't like the way they look in gym clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, what do you do for someone who doesn't have the motivation for anything beyond just the goal?
Yes. No. And that is a lot of people. So I totally hear that and I empathize with that. And that's the first thing I do is empathize with that. And I'm like, and I tell them like, hey, you're not broken. You're not crazy. I hear you. And then I'm very honest with them. And I say, okay, if you have these really lofty aesthetic goals, like if you want to have visible muscle, unfortunately, you have to do some kind of exercise. And that's just a fact.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of thing there. And even if you don't want visible muscle and you just want to be a generally healthy person, you should have some kind of exercise. And then we have a little bit of a compromise situation where we talk and we're like, okay, you don't want to get up and go to the gym. Fine. You're uncomfortable in a gym setting. That's okay. I hear you. I understand that. Can we do something like at home? Can we do a walk? Can we do what feels good to you? You can have a dance party for 20 minutes. I think that that's super cool. And I totally like whatever makes you feel good. And, and eventually you get to a place where you're like, oh, I can do that. And it's just building those little tiny wins. And it's stacking wins, right? Because no, motivation is fleeting.
Yeah.
If you're depending on motivation to get you where you want to go, you're never going to make it. Because we all know like you're super heckin' motivated one day and you're like, yes, I'm going to start Monday. That's motivation right there. Yeah. I went out and I bought all my little meal preps. I bought all of my gym clothes and I'm going to start Monday.
I'm going to have this big Last Supper.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, don't even get me started on the Last Supper. That one sends me into orbit too. I will scream. But it is like, and it's all those little, like, the motivation will go, right? But it's all the little habits that you put in place that will keep you going long term, even when the motivation goes. Because people get discouraged when they don't see change right away. Like they want to see big change right away because they've kind of conditioned, like society has conditioned us that it takes 75 days or it takes 21-day fix. And I'm like, gosh, I wish you'd stop giving these such really crazy names.
We just need to take the numbers out of it all.
Really.
It's like when you assign a number to it, that's the expectation for people.
And it's like a deadline. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is your life. It doesn't have a deadline. Like, you want to take care of yourself for 21 days, then what? Like, it boggles my mind. So yeah, and sometimes we do have to trick our minds into motivation, and that's okay. I'm okay with that too. Maybe it's setting the background on your phone as like a little motivational text that every morning when you wake up to unlock your phone, it says, you can do this. Or it's putting a sticky note on your mirror of like the ultimate goal. Like if you have a big, Dominican vacation coming up that you want to feel confident in your skin for, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Let's put a sticky note on.
It's like a vision board.
Yes.
People that do vision boards so they can see the destination, and the destination is a reminder of why I'm doing this to myself.
Yes. And if you need that to stay motivated, I don't think that that's weak or crazy. I think that that's fine. And, but just understanding that like there's going to be the moments where you have to remember, why you started.
Yeah.
You got to remember why you're doing this. And it's not always going to be fun because some days it's going to be cold and rainy and you're going to be tired and it's going to be early.
Yeah.
And, that's when the habits that you put in place really come into check. Because there are days that I woke up back in the day when I was doing these atrociously long days where I'd wake up and I'd be like, well, I could just sleep in. But I did it every other day before. Why not today?
Yeah.
Just get up and get it done. Like, you're fine. You can do it. You've done it.
Yeah, so in the Full Focus Planner system, when you're writing out a goal, they have you list key motivations. So when you hit that wall and the motivation isn't there and you're like, why am I doing this to myself? When you actually had the motivation at that moment, you set the goal, you wrote down all the reasons you're doing it.
I think that's really nice.
And so you go back and you read it and it's like, oh yeah, there's a good reason for this, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's really nice.
It's really smart.
Yeah, and do it in places you can see it. Like if you look at your planner, do it in your planner. If you look at your mirror every day, do it on your mirror. Background of your phone, I think is a really good place to do it. Like, think, or just have a picture like of your family. Like, I need to be healthier for them. Maybe it's not, an aesthetic goal. Like just being healthy for life and just, being able, and it does take some amount of discipline though, unfortunately.
It does. It made me think about the all or nothing thing with that goal that I have with my accountability group. The days where I am just spent and I'm not motivated to do 20 minutes of exercise, which 20 minutes is nothing in an entire day. It shouldn't be that hard to fit in. I kind of have shifted in my brain to it's 20 minutes where I'm focused on intentionally doing something good for my body. And so I will literally just sit down in the floor and stretch for 20 minutes.
Love that.
So I'm like, okay, I'm still doing something. It's no different than doing yoga in my mind, stretching. Like, I feel like it's the same.
Yeah.
So that's my 20 minutes that day because I know my limits, but I don't do nothing at all. I just do what felt possible at the time.
That's literally, that is perfect. So like, and that is exactly where sustainability comes in with discipline. That's how you do it for a long time. Yeah. Because if I told you, hey, no matter how you feel, I don't care what kind of day, children had, I don't care what kind of day you had at work, you have to go to the gym and you have to do 4x10 sprint interval, whatever. You would be like, yeah, no, I don't feel like it. And then you wouldn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
If that was your only choice and you had to do this really intense, crazy thing every day because that was the only choice. No, there has to be some flexibility where we tell our people all the time at 540, like, if you come in and you only have 60% to give me today because that's where your gas tank is, but you give me that 60%, then guess what? You gave me 100% and I'm proud of you.
100% of what you had.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm proud of that. You don't have to come in here and go, I would rather see you consistently than with this crazy amount of intensity. And that's where people get like really, I think, caught up because they think intensity. And I'm like, no, it's consistency. Like there's this little meme that went around of a flour and it had a little flour in a pot and then it was, they poured the whole pot of water on this little flour and it said intensity. And then it showed watering the flour a little bit every day out of the same pot, but for like a long period of time. It said consistency.
Oh, I like
And I'm
that.
like, well, of course one of them.
There's your background. That's the background you need.
Right there. Yes.
Yeah, that's super smart. What I was thinking about when we were talking about using stretching instead, though, it's funny where the discipline comes in with that because the next day I could also feel like it's been a rough day. And then I start to make excuses for myself and I find myself stretching every day instead. Yeah. So it takes discipline to get back to the real actual exercise because that seems like the easy way out. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like to get it built back up to the real thing?
No, it does. It makes a ton of sense. So when you get in that like, and I wouldn't even call that a slump, right? Because you're still doing something. So it's also having a second to be gentle with yourself to say, okay, maybe I'm stretching every day. Is that the best thing that I can be doing? No, maybe not, but I'm still doing it. So have just a second of kindness with yourself. That's the first thing I would tell somebody. And then the second thing I would say is, okay, now we have to start building that habit back up. What are you not going to do? You're not going to say, okay, starting Monday, I'm going to go back to the gym 5 days a week of weight training because you just went back to like bad habits. So can we split the difference? Can we start with maybe 10 minutes of a brisk walk or a jog if you're into that kind of thing, and then 10 minutes of stretching? And we do that for a couple days, and then we start to build back in gently because it's just that all or nothing mentality will leave you with nothing 99.9% of the time. Yeah. It's just the way it is. And like there's always a happy medium where, I go to the gym and there are certain days. And it's just knowing also your body, listening to your body, being honest with your body. There are days where I go in and I'm like, oh, heck yeah, I'm about to burn this place down. Let's go. Like, let's do some stuff. And those days are awesome. But those days only exist on the days that I go into the gym and I say, I'm not feeling great today. I didn't sleep great. I'm on my period. I don't feel good. I didn't eat good. Maybe today I scale it back to like a 6. Yeah. And that's okay. I'm still, no one wouldn't say that I wasn't disciplined. Yeah. I showed up, I did the work, I did the things, and I did it in a way that honored my body and it's because it's about longevity here. Yeah. Like I'm not playing, I want to play the long game. I always want to play the long game.
So something that I have been trying to switch up my mindset on, because I think everything has to be measurable, right? So whether it's 3 days a week in the gym, 2 days a week walking, everything is associated with a quantity. I have been thinking, what if, because I love being outside when it's pretty out, and obviously I'm not going to exercise when it's raining out, what if when I'm on my way home, the days in which it's sunny, I go right home and I go for my walk or a run and do something outside, but do it based on the weather. If it's raining, instead of going straight home, I stop at the gym and I do indoor exercise.
Perfect.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how many days a week that would end up being, but at least it's exercise in the best place for me that day.
And that's discipline. Like, you've made a structure that works for you. And also, like, the best kind of structure is fluid. Yeah. Right? It needs to be, because that's the one we can keep to best. And, because no one wants to feel like they failed. That's not cool. So the best kind of structure is just that one, where that sounds very obtainable, and it sounds like something you would enjoy. So it's like, hey, it's a beautiful day, and if it felt like a punishment to go to the gym because you would rather be outside,
that was my problem.
Be outside.
Like, why would you want to be indoors when it's pretty out?
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And and no one, and I think that also your means have to be as specific as your goal.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if someone comes to me and they say, hey, Jess, I want to be a competitive athlete. I want to do this big competition coming up, and I want to compete in the elite division. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. I'm super pumped. Those are some very specific goals. We have to really be a little bit more specific in our means of how we get you there.
Yeah.
So that might not work for that person.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's like, hey, I just want to be a healthier person. I know I need to move my body. Maybe I don't really love it. And I just need to move my body a little bit. Great.
Yeah.
Love that. And also, because I think that there is a difference where, if people have these really, really specific goals of, body composition or weight or whatever, anything in their life, your discipline has to be as specific as your goal is.
That makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought about it that way. And I think that is probably the thing that has caused me to have less discipline with exercise, because for me, it's been about maintaining my current weight, because I had lost, not intentionally, but I had lost 35 pounds, and I went from being my heaviest to like my lightest. And so for me, I'm really just trying to maintain and then maybe add a little bit of muscle or tone, right? So I'm not taking it as seriously. Sometimes I wish I had a more specific goal, like percentage of muscle mass, where it's measurable, so that I am a little bit more strategic with how I outline my schedule.
I will say, people that come to me with very specific goals, and whether that be a competition, a vacation, a body mass percentage, something like that, they are typically a little bit more disciplined naturally, because they have a number, or they have a goal, and it kind of stays top of mind. And I will say, for me, I just signed up for another competition last night. Because I mean, and no one's immune to this. I am more disciplined when I have a competition to train for. It's more fun for me. I have something on the horizon. It keeps me going. Jared knows how to program my training a little bit more, and like, it doesn't feel like I'm just training for nothing, because I do train quite a few hours in a day because I like it. And then also, it helps when I have something going on. So, maybe if you don't have a specific goal, set one. Like, find something that you want to do, even make it like a little crazy. Like, we're doing, for example, at the gym, we're having as many people as we can sign up for teams for the 10K. So for the Apple Blossom 10K. So we have a run team for people whose goal it is to run the entire race.
Okay.
We have a run-walk team, so people that are going to, run a little bit, then walk a little bit, do like a run-walk pace. Just, to try to get there. And then we have a walk-ruck group. So people that are going to like brisk walk it or ruck it with like a ruck pack. And so and it's really nice, I think, for these people, because they've set their intention. They pick their team. They said their goal out loud. So now you're kind of committed to it, right?
That's amazing, Jess.
And I think it's nice to get people involved in any aspect. And, maybe for some of them, this will be their first time running a 10K.
Right.
But they've set the intention. They've said it out loud. They've set the goal. And I think that keeps you a little bit more accountable.
Yeah.
Keeps you going a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
You should sign up for a race is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know. That's my problem. It just goes back to my body has not cooperated with running. And, it's my favorite thing. It makes me sad when I run now. And then, I end up laying in somebody's yard.
Yeah, it probably makes that person pretty sad too.
Yeah.
Because they're probably like, wow.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's no rhyme or reason when it's happening, when I end up in so much pain and then I can't even make it back to the house. So it's like scary to go for a run now when it used to be my favorite.
Yes.
So,
but there are other means. Like there's definitely other, and it's not all or nothing.
That's what I have to work through with running specifically, because he laughs at me because when I run, if I said, okay, I'm going to get back into running again, I'd go out and today I would do a mile and say a mile's good. I'll just, a mile's fine. And then I'll see the time that I got on the mile and I'll be like, okay, tomorrow I need to do a mile faster, right? Literally overnight.
And you don't.
And then the next week, oh no, I do. I push it and then like my heart almost explodes. My heart rate gets to 199 and won't come down for an hour. So
I would like you to challenge yourself to do a mile slower.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
That's what he says. But then I push myself and I'll like go from 1 mile to 2 and be like, okay, well, I've done this for 2 days. I'm good now. I'm going to go 2 miles. That's my problem is I know what I used to be able to do with running and I try to get there so fast that I kill myself doing it and then I quit.
Burn out. Yes. And that is the story that you just told of every single former athlete who has ever stepped foot in my gym ever.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody who, and it's almost like when they come in and I have their consult call with them and they say, hey, I used to play football, or I used to play basketball, or I used to play soccer. I'm like, pump the brakes right now, buddy. I know you. I know what's about to happen, and just know that we are in a different body now. Okay? Our expectations have to be a little different. Am I telling you that you can't get back there? Of course you can. You can do anything. You can do anything you want. But it's going to take time. You got to take off little bits at a time. And do you know what they don't want to hear? That. They're like,
that's the opposite.
No, I just want to go 100% intensity 100% of the time. I'm like, great, you're going to 100% burn out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to watch it happen. Because I don't want to see it. I'm going to tell you to calm down. I'm going to tell you to slow down because I want to see you consistently in here every day, moving your body in the way that honors your body and makes you feel good for the chapter that it's in right now.
Yeah.
And later, when you're in a different chapter, intensity is a privilege. Having
that's a good point.
You have to earn it. Intensity is a privilege, and you have to earn it. And if not, it will burn you to the ground 100% of the time.
Maybe my goal needs to be related to I'm using this gym in order to be more prepared for when I move down here and I'm a part of your gym, so that I come in ready to go instead of being in this position.
I just want you to come in any form that you are. I don't care how it is.
Come on, I'm trying to use you as my goal.
You can be yes, and then you're expected to train with me. Okay, then how about that? Yes. Yeah, rope climbs.
Okay.
For day 1.
Okay.
Got it.
Yep.
Yes. So find the bigger goal or something that like whatever it is, and you work towards it.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. All right, I want you to be able to talk a little bit about all the things that you guys are doing at 540 Fitness. And it's funny because it depends on when someone's talking to you if you say 540 or 540.
I know. And sometimes it's in the same conversation.
Yeah.
I'll say 540 or 5. I don't know.
So 540 Fitness.
Yes.
I want you to talk about the nutrition side of things. I want people to get a good understanding of what you do, and if they're local, how they can work with you. And if they're not, how they can still work with you.
Oh, well, we are, so my gym is 540 Fitness. It is on Welltown Road on the north side of town. We are a group facility. We have coach-led classes. So that means that there's always a coach present to make sure that you are safe, to make sure that you are not burning yourself to the ground. They are very keen on that. I have a excellent staff that I just love. They are wonderful people. They're great coaches. They are athletes themselves, and I think that that's also really important. They do the programming, so they know. They've been where you are. All of them. They've all been where you are, and they understand what it's like to try to get into a habit and to build discipline. So they're very empathetic. They're very kind in that way. We do a lot of classes in our day. We also have a foundations class, which is great for new people. And we do a lot of group activities like the 10K and stuff like that. And then I am a nutrition coach. We have a nutrition staff at 540 Fitness, 540 Nutrition. I have a wonderful staff there. They are all wonderful nutrition coaches. And then I work for a company called Black Iron Nutrition, and they are a worldwide company. Really, they go everywhere, and they're a really awesome platform to have. I have access to a lot of great resources, and I'm really honored to be one of their coaches and to work with these phenomenal people just to provide a better service to our athletes and to our people and to our staff. And really, we're just trying to make everyone a little healthier and happier and more comfortable in their own body, because we have to live in this thing.
Yes.
All the time. You hope. That's the goal. Every time someone has a birthday at the gym, and I'm like, that's my only goal, is for you to have more birthdays.
Yeah.
It's all I want.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So I was thinking as you were saying that, you've grown, because when we first met and we're talking about your gym, you didn't have other coaches. You guys were the coaches. So
we had coaches.
You had coaches?
I've had coaches since the beginning.
I just didn't know it.
Yeah,
How
I think
many?
I have, let's see, I have Emmett, Julia, Holly, Karina, Tammy, Jared, Jess.
Goodness gracious.
Phoebe.
You have 8 coaches.
I do.
That's amazing.
Yes, and they're fantastic. Well, and also a lot of our coaches, all of them with the exception of Jared and I, work other jobs. Yeah, so they do this because they love it, and it's not their full-time gig. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like, they just do it because they really like it, and they don't have to do it for money. And, none of us are in it for money. Trust me, if you were in it for money, you wouldn't go into business for yourself.
Yeah.
But you have to do it because you really, really like it.
That's true.
And that's why they do it, is because they really, really like it. So I was really lucky, and we opened with a full staff.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess I just never realized that.
I could not have shouldered that load by myself.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, is how classes were occurring with just the two of you.
That's why I don't have that much discipline. Because I got people.
That's funny.
I got people to depend on. So I only coach I guess I coach probably 7 or 8 times a week.
Okay.
And then Jared coaches 4 times a week. Okay. And then the rest of our staff takes the classes, and they're great.
Okay.
I like taking their classes.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, I wondered about that, about, time that's specific for you to go in and just focus on your work, your training, versus being side by side with a group and you're doing it with them.
So yeah, it depends. So I go in and I take the 9 o'clock class. That's Tammy's class. Tammy coaches the 9. And then I'm just an athlete in class. I'm mostly not listening. I'm goofing off. I'm causing a ruckus. I'm just like everyone else in class. Sure, Tammy hates me, but I do it side by side with everybody else, because that's what we do. Yeah. And that's the kind of fitness that I enjoy. Is I like group fitness, and that's what got me to this point. And then outside of that, I do have to have a little bit more discipline, because I have programming that I need to do by myself, because I have competitions and these very specific goals. So what I'll do is either before or after class, I will stay and do my extra programming. But it's cool because we actually have other athletes that do the same thing, because we have a lot of athletes that have big goals, whether that's body composition or whatever. They have big goals. So they do programming with our coaches too. So we have this other area in the back side of the gym, and we'll go back there and do our other programming after class, and we do that together. So
nice.
Even when you're alone, you're still together. Yeah. It's very rare that I make the joke all the time, actually, because I'll ask people to do workouts with me, all the time, and I'll joke and I'll be like, listen guys, I did not open this gym to work out by myself. I don't know if I wanted to work out by myself. Yeah. I have a full gym at home in my garage, literally a full gym. I have all the weights. I have a bike. I have everything I need at home. I come here to be with you fools.
Yeah.
So someone better do this workout with me because I love you guys. Now get over here. And they love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, while you were talking, I was also thinking about those small steps and how it connects back to leadership in general, because my obsession is just growth, right? As long as I'm growing a little bit each day, I don't have to worry about how much, as long as it's one step forward, it's progress. It adds up over time. So I might not see a big difference from, today to next week in my professional growth journey, right? But as long as I'm learning something every day, it's happening, right? Same way, like with the exercise, they might not immediately see a difference in how they look or feel, any of that, right? But small steps over time, it adds up. I'm curious what advice you would give to someone, whether they're in a leadership role and they're trying to grow professionally into a future role, right? Or it's on the personal side, personal development in any capacity, nutrition. One tip you want to leave everybody with today.
Oh my gosh, could I give them more than one real quick?
No, you're not allowed. Why? Do you not follow rules?
I don't, and I can't also.
Yes,
I don't
how
follow
many do you want to
rules,
give them?
and I don't shut up. So
go ahead.
Tells you
Give
why
them
I'm on
what you
this
want.
podcast. But no, I would tell anyone who wants to set goals, one, be super as specific as you can with the goal. I think that's really important. Yeah. Don't just say, I want to be successful in business. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Define success.
What does that mean to you? Because that can be anything. Mm-hmm. So be super specific. I want to hit 100,000 followers on this platform. Very, like that is a very obtainable, specific number. So make sure your goals are specific. Be specific about the goals. Be flexible with the means.
Okay.
Not every single day you're going to gain a follower.
Right.
Not every single day is going to be the best day ever. And it's just staying in the trenches when it's not the best day ever. And it's understanding that, hey, I have this very specific goal in mind, and as long as I am making incremental progressions forward over time, not every single day, because progression is not linear. It's not just trending upwards, but understanding that as long as I'm doing my best, like you said, and I'm growing, 1% every week, that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
And you have to stay in there, and don't make it stuff that you hate. Don't. And if it is something that you hate, talk to Sierra and find a way to make yourself like it, because that is possible, or outsource it. And I think that's something that you would tell them too.
Oh yeah. I outsource plenty of things that I don't like. Well, if you don't like it, or if you don't have time to do it, so you can spend time doing the things you like.
Or if someone else can do it much better than you.
Yeah.
I think that that's a thing too. Like there's certain things that I just don't have a natural ability to do. And if I did it myself, it would, I'm thinking specifically finances. If I did it myself, it would take me forever, and it would probably be wrong.
Yeah.
So why on earth am I spending my natural born talents doing that? If you're in business, you have a natural talent for something, right?
Yeah.
Do that thing. Spend your time and your efforts and your talents doing that thing to grow. If you have things that you're struggling with, hire a coach. Hire a coach. I don't know how many, it is the number one thing. I've hired so many coaches in my life.
Yeah.
You've been my coach. Jared's been my coach. Chrissy at Black Iron Nutrition has been my coach. I've had therapists. I've had life coaches.
Yeah. Coaches have coaches.
I have coaches right now.
Same.
I have multiple coaches right now. It is so important. You do not have to put this all on your back and carry it.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask. You're not even asking for help. You're asking for another set of eyes. You're asking for a fresh look. You're asking for someone with experience in the game to look at your strategy and see the holes that you're blind to.
I was just about to say blind spots, because we all have blind spots, and it takes having someone else that can sit down with us and ask the questions that we need to be asking ourselves to kind of identify what direction to move in. And that's so funny that we're talking about this, because this week I was having a call with a client who basically, my work with her was more focused on accountability for the things she was working on this year. By asking the questions I did, she arrived at the answer. She knew the answer before I even asked some of the questions. And I was like, you don't even need me. You knew that all along. But it took sitting down with someone else, getting you to stop and truly reflect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just move quickly on to the next thing. Stop and reflect with someone else present. And oftentimes it comes right out. It's not like coaches tell you what to do.
No.
That's the thing that I try to get people to understand is you're not looking to a coach to have direction and tell you what to do. It's to ask you questions so you can figure out what's best for you.
Right. And like, yeah, and it's important to know that like there are people out there whose heart and soul is like your heart and soul is helping these people find these answers.
I take it really seriously.
Oh, trust me, I know. I know it. But I think it's, you know, and if you're very serious about your goal and you don't have a coach, I almost wonder if you're serious about your goal.
That's a good point.
You know, if you don't have anyone else looking at your goal with you, if you don't have another set of eyes, if you don't have someone that you trust in your pocket, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way. People are often surprised when I say I have a coach.
Yeah.
Because I think that they think that if you're a coach, you can coach yourself, right? Because you know what to ask other people, so why can't you just do that for yourself? No, it always takes an extra person.
No, I love my nutrition coach. I love my fitness coach. I any coach that I've ever had. And also because they don't have the same brain as me. You do not have the same brain as me. Yeah. So anytime I talk to you, I learn something and I see it from a different perspective. And I see it and I'm like, oh, I was never going to see that. But it makes sense and I understand what's going on now. And that is so helpful because you don't know what you're not seeing.
Yeah.
You know, you're never going to know until you talk to somebody else. And, you know, these people they spent time and money and effort to get to a place where they can help you. Yeah. Like, let them help you.
I like it. So you gave the advice. I think that you started to actually describe smarter goals. By the way, that structure, you're like,
yes,
specific. And I was like, she's about to say measurable.
They are measurable. You're right.
Actionable.
You're right. Yes. I do like SMART goals.
I argue sometimes with people on the R. Some say realistic and some say risky. I like risky because
I've never heard risky.
Oh, really?
I've only heard realistic.
Oh, I think it has to be risky.
Okay.
Like you don't want to just do it because it's easy and attainable. I like to take what's easy and attainable and go push a little bit further.
Little risque.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Like just over the line beyond what you think you're capable of.
Right. Make it, just a little bit bigger. It should, your goal should scare you a little kind of thing.
I think so.
I do too. If it doesn't make you a little nervous, then what's the point? Like if it's not, then at that point it's not even a goal. I'm like, if you're comfortable with it, just go do it.
Yeah.
Don't make such a big deal out of it. But no, it should, you're right. It should be risky.
So we made it to SMAR. T, time bound.
Yes.
E is exciting.
I didn't know about that one either.
Yeah. We've got to spell smarter. We don't just do smart around here. Smart.
Okay, what's the last R?
Relevant.
What's that one mean?
Relevant in my world, the way that I use it in my business with my clients is, you know my wheel of life?
I sure do.
Okay. It has to be relevant to the overall picture, your vision for your life you're trying to create. It has to relate to something that's important to you. It can't just be this random goal over here. You wake up one day and I'm going to go to Mount Everest base camp. Like,
is that because it won't matter to you?
Yes.
Like you won't, you're
passionate.
It's that like it just doesn't.
Motivation piece. The moment you hit an obstacle, you're going to quit.
Because it doesn't matter.
It's not relevant to my vision for my life.
I can see that.
It's because somebody over here did it, and now I think I have to do it.
So podcast on Everest is out. It doesn't really. I don't like
relevant.
The cold.
No.
The second I have to double glove, I'm out. I'm gonna be like, you know what? I can't do this. I ain't built for this weather.
For me, it's more about the plane ride you talked about, going across the bridge that was falling apart.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I watched the movie Everest last night. I'm good.
Did you?
Scary. Don't watch it.
Okay.
But I think yes, making smarter goals is the key. Like, and it has to be something that if it doesn't make you a little nervous or if it doesn't kind of feel like a gut punch when you think about it, it's not a good goal.
Yeah.
And just to say like, I want to be skinny. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And why do you want that? And is that really what you want? And like, if it is, cool, we're going to have to get a little deeper than that though.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me a little bit more. We're going to have to really, and when clients sign on with me for nutrition, I talk a lot about their goals. We talk about long-term goals. We talk about short-term goals. We talk about how you define success, you know, because everyone defines success differently.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to know when we made it? Because if not, you're going to spend your whole life thinking that you never made it when maybe we made it. It's tough.
People don't automatically think of that, though. That question right there, how do you define success, really applies to anything you go to do. And if you don't stop and think about that, you're always like on this quest. And sometimes we don't realize that we've already made it there and now we're reaching something else because we didn't stop and celebrate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, maybe it's a milestone on the way to something bigger. But yeah,
but you should still stop and celebrate it, and you know, and that's, you know, even though, and that's also with fitness, I'm guilty of that a lot, where, you know, I remember my very first bar muscle up, and I got my very first bar muscle up, and then right away I wanted 2, then I wanted 3, then I wanted 4, then I wanted 5, and I was like, and even now, like, sometimes I get caught up in being so ungrateful for the fitness that I have because I want more, that I need to stop and be like, wow, you've come so far, and, you know, you should really be grateful for, you know, where you are. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not motivated anymore or you're going to stop. Like, it doesn't ever have to be like, it doesn't have to be I hate myself quest every day. You know, it shouldn't be an I hate myself quest every day. But, you know, and longevity also comes in that gratitude to be like, you know, I've come really far and I'm really grateful for, you know, the plan that I put in place. And I'm really proud of myself for the discipline that it took for me to get to this point.
Yeah. Perfect. You're amazing.
You're amazing. So fun. Every time I talk to you.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So what was the thing that you have to come back to talk about? Oh, just nutrition in general. He didn't know what macros were. He's been working with a personal trainer at the gym that we have, which you should be proud of, by the way. Let's celebrate him for a second.
Yes, please, because every other time that Jess has been on this podcast, a certain wonderful producer has kind of gotten bashed a bit. So when someone mentioned that I got a gym membership for the both of us and she hasn't made it in yet, I have been going.
That's awesome.
Almost every week.
There's
only been 1 week that I had to miss.
And you're working with a trainer. That is fantastic. Hiring a coach. That's good. That's exactly what I would advise.
And he whines about it for 2 days after.
But that's okay. I didn't, at no part in my description of doing the things did I say and not whine.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, he's allowed
You didn't hear me say that?
He's allowed to whine.
I knew from the very beginning if I didn't have a coach to work with, I don't have the discipline.
And that's okay.
Do it by myself, so I had to have a coach to push me to actually make it happen.
I'm really proud of you for identifying that in yourself and doing it the right way the first time instead of spinning your wheels and getting frustrated with yourself. That was very intuitive. He's made another positive change that you would be proud of. The boy used to drink I don't know how many Cokes a day. He took a step in the right direction. It wasn't all or nothing. He only at home is keeping Coke Zero. So that's great. One step in the right direction. And that is the kind of compromise that I love. Because if you said to me, hey, he cut out all Coke, I'd be like, we're going to spiral here any minute now. Yeah, and he's going to, so yeah, and it's just. He's going to what? Because that's what happens. People that aren't watching this on YouTube or watching it on Spotify are missing out on the visuals. I had a twitch. But that's what they do. Like, you take everything out and then you wonder why you're imploding. And I'm like, you took your favorite thing in the world out of your life. I would be furious too if you told me I couldn't have banana cream pie anymore. It's nuts. Yeah. No, I'm really proud of that. That's really good. He's taking steps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, but then the question becomes, so then how long do you do the thing this way? You know what I mean? Like, how long does he adjust to it's Coke Zero only at home before he says, okay, now I'm going to have less Coke Zero. I'm not going to have Coke Zero.
You're going about it wrong, Sierra. You gotta ask Jess, because that's not the point of it. The point is that first step. If you make that first step and then you immediately go, okay, now I gotta figure out when I'm gonna remove this.
I see what both of you are saying.
First step first.
She doesn't want to take sides right now.
No, I see what both of you are saying. Yes.
Tiebreaker.
No, you are correct. And you're both correct. But, and I think it depends on what would be the motivation for him to stop drinking the Coke Zero at home? Is that bad?
For me or for him?
For anybody.
Well, because Coke Zero isn't healthy either.
Yeah, but if it's the worst thing, like, okay, compromise.
Banana cream pie is unhealthy. Water. Maybe increasing water is the thing.
There it is.
Because
can we get more good in instead of eliminating? Yes. Is banana cream pie the healthiest thing in the world for me? No, it's full of sugar, and despite the bananas, it's not a fruit salad. Who knew? But at no point would I want to be like, okay, I need to wean myself off of this. No. What if in a healthy life I could have a slice of banana cream pie every single day? That's fine. Honestly, if I have a nutrition client come to me and they're like, hey, Jess, I want to eat 5 Oreos every day for the rest of my life, I'd be like, bet. Great. Can we also have some vegetables? Can we also have
something positive?
Yes. Yeah. So if you tell me, hey, I'm drinking, I would feel comfortable with 80 to 100 ounces of water a day. And I'm drinking.
Just to clarify, she said 80 to 100. She didn't say 8,200.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I get excited and I talk fast. Yes.
That's a lot of water.
Thank you. 80 ounces.
Somebody just got water intoxication.
Yes. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I'm a liability on here. 80 ounces to 100 ounces of water every day. And you want to have 2 Diet Cokes. 3. I'm honestly not gonna say anything because it's, again, what's your ultimate goal? And
to be healthier, right? And if that's the thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm gonna pick and choose my battles at that point. I really am. And that's not the battle I would fight.
Yeah.
For me. Because unless you're like, if you're like an elite level athlete, and well, even then I think you could have a Diet Coke. But it's just, and that's where I think it's compromise and getting, a little bit better and just focus on getting more good in. And you might find that over time, like, am I saying that you should drink 10 Diet Cokes a day? No, don't take me out of context, internet.
Wait, say that again a little louder.
You should not. I'm not saying that. I think anything in too much abundance is probably not good.
Maybe that's what I was talking about.
Maybe there are 10.
Maybe that's why I said we would slowly remove that.
But if you think about getting 80 ounces to 100 ounces, she enunciates clearly, of water every day, you're probably not going to have time to drink that many Diet Cokes.
That's true.
Correct?
So set a water consumption goal.
And then it takes care of itself.
That makes more sense because the other day I asked him how much water he had and he picked up his Coke Zero and he said, how many ounces is this?
How much water's in here? Yeah, so if you get that in first, you'd be surprised.
You don't have room left.
Well, that's how I am with my clients and their protein goals. I will hardly never, ever, ever. And people are afraid to sign up with me because they think I'm going to tell them, stop eating carbs, which is funny because that just proves that they've never had a conversation with me. Yeah. Because I am a carbohydrate. Yeah. I'm a walking carbohydrate. But I'm also I'm going to focus on getting more good into you where I'm hey, and I'm not going to tell you what not to eat. Let's set a protein goal and let's get our protein in first. And then I bet 9 times out of 10, you probably can't have 6 servings of mac and cheese because you just ate 6 ounces of chicken like you were supposed to. Yeah. And the problem takes care of itself, really.
I have something that you should be proud of me for. I just realized, remember how we sat down together and you're like, are you taking care of your body? Before this episode, you were questioning.
Yes. That's what it's like to have a conversation with me, guys.
Probably because she saw the McDonald's iced coffee, which was free. I'm going to say that again. But anyway, there is something exciting. I decided rather than stopping at Dunkin' and getting my sausage wrap every day, which is sausage, egg, and cheese on a wrap. It's not super bad. It's more that it's expensive. That's ridiculous.
Girl, preach.
Okay. Right. I, this week, made smoothies in the morning. I've been using fruit. I put spinach in it. I put a ton of protein. I actually thought of you as I was putting protein in it.
That's exactly what I want to hear someone say, actually, is when I put protein in my drink, I thought of you. That is exactly the association I want.
I am getting more protein, and I'm doing it in the morning, front-loading my day with, healthy stuff, and I'm finding that I'm not as hungry as soon in the day as well. Yes. So it's been good this week. And the motivator was I didn't want the spinach to go bad in the fridge because that's frustrating.
Honestly,
I don't
whatever
want to throw it away.
No, that's a waste of money and food.
I'm having smoothies. So
hell yeah.
There you go.
That's so good. And do you enjoy them?
I actually do.
Yeah.
I find that I take forever to drink them, though. Like, I will be on client calls from 8 to noon, and I'm just finishing up my smoothie. Like, I don't chug it all at once.
Yeah.
It takes me a while.
And there's a lot more micronutrients in that smoothie than there would be in that Dunkin' wrap, which is really nice. You're getting some nice dose of vitamin C.
I added collagen peptides.
Wow. You're really doing it up over here. I like this.
Well, they're expired, but so is the protein. But I think it's still good.
It still works. You know what? Baby
it didn't
steps.
Change that it was protein. It's just
baby steps, Sierra, and I'm okay with your.
I opened up the cabinet, I don't know, last week maybe, and had all these supplements that I used to take when I was doing a really good job in life. And I was like, I can't throw these away. I probably have like 6 things of protein, 2 things of collagen peptides. And I'm like, I'm going to start using them. It was expensive.
Yes, they are. You're darn right.
So anyway, I will continue to use it till it's gone, and then I will buy fresh.
Or you start growing fungus out of your ears, whichever comes first. No, you'll be fine. It won't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think 5 years old would be bad.
Well, that, and if you think what's going to...
5 years past expiration.
But honestly, if you think about what's in that Dunkin' wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way worse, I promise. Whatever you were putting in your body before, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
See. Steps. It's a step in the right direction. Expired protein is better than no protein at all.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Your 10-year-old protein's better than none. Please don't do that. We're going to get sued. Very good.
Oh, I love you.
Okay. I love you.
Well, thank you. Where can they find you? I don't think you shared the website.
Oh, you can find me at www.540-fitness.com.
I love it.
Yes.
Now, do you have a backup if people don't put the hyphen? Does it forward them to the hyphen?
Whoa, I'm sorry. Is that a thing?
That is a thing, and we need to make it happen ASAP.
Oh, God, okay. Now I'm panicking.
Because if people don't put the hyphen in, which they probably won't if they hear about you and the business, they might type.
So when we get done with here, can you help me fix that?
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll make it happen.
Good. I didn't know about that. This is why I need a coach, guys. Coaches have coaches. Thank God. Thank God Sierra's here.
Any last words?
No, just thank you. I always appreciate you letting me come on here and really yammer about stuff that I really care about. It's honestly all it ever comes down to is if I'm passionate about it, I think you guys can tell. I get really excited to talk about certain things.
This is just you all the time.
It is. Well, because I live my passion.
You do.
I do. I live my passion, and I think it's very obvious that I do. So if someone gets me on a topic, so I always appreciate that you give me and other professionals a platform to talk about things that we love, and it's really selfless and nice of you that you use your platform to elevate others. It's a really kind thing that you do, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for taking time. You come on weekends, which, that's your time to do what you want, and you chose to be here. To me, that's discipline right there.
You're my friend, so this is a friend hang.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you guys for sticking through to the end of the episode. I know that wasn't hard for you because Jess is amazing. Might be harder on some of the other episodes, like with Mark Kelly. Sorry, I had to.
We love Mark.
We do love Mark. This is actually a test to see if Mark is listening. I'm going to not say anything for weeks, by the way.
Perfect. I'm not going to say anything either.
Okay.
Great.
Deal. If you would like to subscribe to the episode so you get notifications when an episode drops every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, be sure to subscribe, follow us, share it with a friend that you think would benefit. If you know that somebody's working towards a bigger goal in their life right now and could use a little more discipline, hopefully we talked about some of those tools and strategies that they could be using. Until next time.